Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us. Very good evening. Happy Friday. Very good morning to Dipansha, of course. She's just starting her day. My name is Bhavesh Methwani, and I am a member of this beautiful community of Grow with Sparks. Now, Grow with Sparks is a community of people, like minded people. And when I say like minded people, it means that people who are working on their personal development goals. Goals could vary. You could be exercising, you could be planning to quit non-veg drinking, you could be wanting to learn about Ayurveda and yoga as we will in this session. So we are a community who would like-minded people to come together. We can motivate each other, keep a track of our goals, etc. And we actually host these master classes every month with a new personality, with a new leader, with a new individual who can actually guide us, motivate us, inspire us to know more about our goals or to know more about different and varied kind of topics under the sun. And today, fortunately, we have this wonderful, wonderful woman, wonderful personality who's looking as pretty as possible. Ashima Gupta, she's the founder of VedaQ. She's an enthusiast about yoga and Ayurveda, spirituality, anything to do with your bodies, minds, souls. And as she would like to call as your Prakriti, which was really exciting. And as I mentioned, Prakriti, I think we would just like to kick off this session by handing over the virtual dice to Ashima if she would like to say some opening words, and then maybe we can just start by asking questions. Ashima, over to you.
Thank you, Bhavish, for having me here. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to some of you, because I know you are logging from your noon zone. Good afternoon to you also. So this session, I want it should be like very candid. I want to deliver like what health and fitness actually means is just not dropping your numbers on the scale with very fad diets and the taboo or related to your body. Like for example, if I eat something, my sugar will spike. If I will not eat that, something will other or the other thing will happen. Applying anti-aging on skins and still not getting the result because the internal mechanism is not line with the energy of the universe. So today in this session, we will be talking about how our Prakriti, what is the constitution, what we name as cosmos of our body is. Right? So shall we start all in? Shall we,
I
Bhavesh?
think
Yeah.
I think we all are. I think we
Okay.
all are.
Okay.
And I can begin by
Yeah.
asking you
Yeah.
questions,
Why not?
which
Why?
I think I have prepared myself. There have been certain questions which we were also asked in the Insta live yesterday, and questions from all over the place who are just wanting to know more about Ayurveda and yoga. And since we were talking about the Prakriti and the Constitution, I think the first topic which we are going to talk about is that what are the basic foundation principles of Ayurveda. So for
Mhm.
a layman like me who know nothing about Ayurveda, can you just help us explain what are the basic principles, and then how can I help myself in order for me to understand my Prakriti, my energy, and my constitution?
Great. So, see, Ayurveda is the foundation of Indian heritage, right? So, whatever, whomsoever is sitting here, or maybe at any part of the world in any time zone, or maybe animals as well, we have been formed with by five elements of the universe. These are called Panch Mahabhutas. This is earth, air, water, fire, and space. Cosmos, this is the cosmos. So when the divine intervened, it produced three energies, right? So one is termed as kapha, another one is pitta, and another one is vata. For a layman language, you can term it as ectomorph, endomorph, mesomorph. Ecto, we have seen like very lean people. Whatever they eat is just burn off. They don't get gain weight. They don't gain inches. Endo is a person who gains weight easily, and they always have a complaint. Even if I drink a glass of water, it my body weight goes up. My sugar spikes. I get very vulnerable when it comes to losing the weight. Just a thought increases my weight. And the third person is mesomorph, a very athletic person who may have a very good digestion, very foregoing, very outcoming with expressions, thoughts, and good digestion. And they're achievers also. Whatever they decide, they just achieve it no matter what comes. They're very good with their efforts. right? But it's just not about this. Let's talk about the first element, the first energy, that is vata. Vata something is something the circulatory system of a body. I'm blinking my eyes, my lips are moving, my voice, my sound modulation, everything is vata. Your heart is beating, that is vata, right? If you have dryness in the skin discoloration, for example, your face could be very fair comparative to your hands, just like me, because I'm a completely vata person. You may have a different like body discoloration on the body because of vata. Now, if I talk about Pitta person, Pitta is something very transformative in nature. When you eat food, it converts into energy, it gets into the tissue of our body. We all know this. But how the food is being nutritive for ourselves, how quickly we absorb nutrition from that particular food is governed by the fire of our body. That is a digestive fire. Jatha Ragni, what we term as. So a Pitta person, a mesomorph, will have a very good digestive fire. If I talk about a vata person, that person will sometimes have a very good digestive fire, sometimes very low digestive fire, resulting to constipation. Now, some of us sitting here are actually kapha person. I can see them from their body types. They're little plump, little obese, but they're very calming people, very good with emotions, and their digestive fire is always low. That's why just a glass of water will give them a thought of gaining the weight, and this manifests in their body and they actually gain weight. But among all these three energies, kapha, vata, pitta, kapha is at the best absorbing nutrition from the food. Pitta is the second, hierarchy wise, and the vata will be the third. It is that way.
So I think you talked about Kapha, Vata, Pitta,
Pitta. Yes.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So I think the follow-up question would be, and it's actually really interesting for me to know and understand about it. How do I differentiate between these three energies? Can you
Mhm.
just help us walk us through that? How can we accurately point that what exactly our energy is? And I think you rightly mentioned that by just a look of our faces, you are able to fathom that in which kind of energy we are placing. So, firstly, how do you do that? And how can we do it for ourselves? And how can we then plan our workout routine? And how can we be so sure that according to our energy, what food we should be consuming?
Okay, great. See, there could be some of your family members who would always be on fire with their temperament and with their work nature. They could be overhaul workaholic, right? They could be very much achievers. They would be like go-getters, going to the gym, or when it comes to fitness, they will be always like getting closer to their goals and objectives. They are like pitta person. Once they have decided, they will get it. Maybe how much time does it take, because they have decided in their mind. But if I talk about a vata person, hopping here and there, someday I would decide I want to do biology in master, someday I would decide no, I'm a very art person, I'm very bored of this person, maybe in relationship also, I'm bored of this guy, I'm bored of this girl, I want to switch over. So these are vata personalities whose thought fluctuate just like that. Now, if I talk about a kapha person is like very sluggish, dull, very loving, very caring. A thought of getting away from any person will actually kill them. They can snob, they can cry the entire day. Now, if I talk about a kapha person also, you must have noticed that in the morning a kapha person will be always lazy. Oh God, it's a morning, may I sleep more? A vata person
Hmm.
will be like, will get up just like that with a flick of energy, but the energy will go down. They will have a consciousness in the mind, I need to start my day with a very good positive note, but if any thought comes that they don't like it, the energy level will go down. But a pitta person, that what I have mentioned, they are go-getters. They will get up in the morning with a very go-getting consciousness in their brain, and they will remain the entire day the same. If I talk about the nature, the pitta person will get really upset with just a simple thought. Upset in the sense they will have a very bad temperament. They can have like anger issues, just a fit of anger. But a vata person, sometimes they will cry, sometimes they will not, and it will keep the other person confusion what the personality the person has. But the kapha person, as I've said, they're very calming, they're very loving. So either they would be very loving, or they will always cry the entire day because I did not get something. If I talk about kids, you have seen in your home also, kids are actually until the age of 15 and 16 years, they are kapha dominant. You have seen kids, when they get the toy what they like, they're always happy. But if they don't get it, they just cry their heart out, I want that, right? But when you get into the college mode, when you get into the work mode, right? You have some projects. You get into the pitta energy. It is common with everyone, right? No matter what, with what energy you were when you were in the womb of your mother, because you have projects, you have placements to go for. Slowly, when you get into the diminishing age of your life, that is the elderly phase, then you start getting slowly into vata personality. The elderlies in a home, they have dry skin, right? You must have seen it. They lose the muscle mass, they get into scarpenia, sorry, it is called scarpenia. The muscle mass loss, they get like short into the height, right? So these are the vata personalities. So that is
Got
how we
it.
can differentiate.
I think from the first look of it, I am able to fathom that I am somewhere between Kapha and Vata. Um, if
You
I am
are,
not mistaken, yes,
no, you are pitta and vata.
Pitta and Vata. Okay,
Pitta and
so I
vata. A
think
person can has one energy, a person can has two energy, a person can has three energies also. Dominant. And let me phrase it, the season of the year will also decide which energy is going up and which energy is going down. For example, if you talk about India right now, it's the spring season. If I talk about Europe side, it's getting into winter mode, right? So a kapha person, a obese person, a very plump person who resides in the winter zone of the earth will get really diminished, will get really dull, the energy level will be very down. But if I talk about the spring season, the same person will have a better energy. That person would like to go out in the nature, would like to do workout. It is that way. Similarly, for a vata person also, the winters are extremely bad. They feel like very much of cold, very much of cold. And when this, I'm like that. And when the spring comes, they have a very good energy because the water content is getting into the body and they have better balancing energies.
got it. I think we have one question from Suma Bhatt, and she's asking that what kind of person did you say is on fire, go-getters?
They are
Who
pitta
are
person.
go
They have
Pitta?
very
Okay,
sharp features also. They have very sharp features.
got it.
Yes,
And
you can
amazing.
actually see the entire day we are dedicating most of our times on the screen or maybe phone these days. What have you seen earlier when the phone were not there? Maybe the work was not on the computer. There's some kind of mucus in the eyes when we get up in the morning. Earlier, पहले नहीं होता था. Now this the frequency has increased because the eyes are governed by pitta of any human being,
Hmm.
right? The constant heat that is provided to the eyes by a body, it get enhanced when you constantly look into the screen, the blue light. So it start getting here built up the mucus portion that comes in the morning.
Got
So the
it. So
constant,
I hope you actually answer. It actually answers your question, Suma. Uh, you were correct that go-getters and the people who have fire has they have Pitta kind of an energy. I think Ashima, it's really interesting for us to know about these different kind of energies. And nowadays, I think rather than just knowing, we would like to implement something. And we are actually getting to know a lot about Ayurveda and our energies. I think my next question, and which is something the audiences would be also able to relate, is that how can Ayurveda help us to grow our emotional quotient? And we talk about that EQ is more important than IQ for leaders who are actually just running the world and who are immensely successful. They have higher EQ as compared to their IQ. How can, by having this knowledge, we can develop EQ, be more sympathetic and compassionate to our fellow beings? And of course, by having that knowledge, is it something that we can also implement? Is it something that we can also, let's say, of course, you are empowering individuals, but having that EQ, how do we show or behave after having this knowledge that yes, we are compassionate and sympathetic individuals?
okay, that's a very good question. See, I would, to this question, I would say one thing that is a foundation to the answer of this question is that the manas is called the mind, right? So the mental health is actually deeply interconnected with the body, mind, and soul health, right? Because if a mind is in balanced state, we can make a better decision. We are very compassionate with the people, no matter what energy we have, like kapha, vata, pitta, right? What is happening these days? For example, many of us do it, and we personally know this. I'm working on my laptop. I'm working on my call also, and simultaneously I'm scrolling Instagram also, right? Multitasking I'm doing, right? So at a time, my mind is not able to focus, right? I'm into multitasking. When a person does a multitasking, the air content, the vata content increases in the body. And when the vata increases in the body, no matter what, even if you're a pitta person or maybe a kapha, your thoughts will start wavering. Sometimes you will think something else, the other second you can think something else, right? So what it depletes the ojas of the body. See the loop how it's going. The ojas is the final content of the body, the semen in males, right? So that is very pure in nature, that is very spiritual in nature. But if you have a very wavering mind, if you're not pure with your thoughts, the ojas quality depletes. So the EQ also goes down. You will gradually feel that I'm not compassionate with the people. I have anger issues. I have depression issues. And when these things come, the EQ goes down. And you must have seen that people who are very depressed, who are very have like fluctuating behavior, they have a kind of belly punch, right? Even if they are slim, if you look them at the back, because they have a fat, visceral fat that is developing inside, because the ojas is getting depleted from their body, because the digestive fire is getting down. So EQ is essential part of our health, because it decides how we adapt to the different situations, right? And we learn, if we have good EQ, that we need to respond, we need not to react. Okay, right? If something comes out of a comfort zone, a good EQ will tell us that I need to respond, I should not react. But as the vata content increases, even if you are kapha, then this manas, this mind changes. Okay, but and the stress will come. A very good thing here is Ayurveda is so beautiful. If a Pitta person has a wavering thoughts, is his EQ is going down. Similarly with Vata, similarly with a Pitta, or maybe Kapha. How we should tackle it, because the beauty of Ayurveda says that a person to person, आपका उपाय, आपका solution differs. For
Got it.
example, the Vata person doesn't like to eat crunchy food. They would always be liking lot of soft nature food. They may not like croissant, they may not like matti. They would like to have a very soft naan, a very soft paratha over roti, right? Similarly, a Pitta person is a go-getter. That person would always like to have something spicy, though should not eat it. They should eat spice in moderation. They would always love to have crunchy food because that gives them the spark. Okay, but if I talk about kapha person very lovely bees, they are very adjusting. आप उनको crunchy दे दो, they are fine with that. आप उनको soft food दे दो, they are fine with that. So the EQ of a kapha person is actually better than a vata and a pitta. Always remember that. But how would you tackle this if your EQ is going down? Because vata content is high these days in every person. It may be in Dipansha, maybe in Rajesh, maybe in me, maybe in you, maybe in Gaurav, maybe in Ashish. Because we are multitasking. I'm cooking, I'm attending my office call, I'm looking at my son also. I'm looking at his school projects also. So this is increasing vata in my body, right? How should I tackle it? Okay. You have a very stressed day. Who will answer this? You can answer in the chat box. You have a very stressed day. You are working, non-working, any age group, doesn't matter. When you come home, what would you expect? What should be the first thing that should come to you that will actually make you very settle and subtle at the home? What should be it? क्या होना चाहिए वो behavior wise? Answer in the chat box. क्या होना चाहिए वो? What it should be?
People are saying child hugging me, smiling
Again,
faces.
yes, smiling faces. What it is called in Ayurveda, it is called sneh, love. Okay, so now let me tell you, हम सबके घर में we have sneh bottle. That is the oil bottle. We have that love. So for a pitta person, if that person is yelling, don't react. Do not even respond. Just listen to that person and give some meetha to that person. Could be a ragi laddu, could be a bajra laddu, could be as per the season, like summers are coming in India, you can give a jowar laddu also, right? Or could be a bundi ka laddu. That temperament will go down. Now talk about vata person, because the entire day was very fluctuating. I'm not in a good mood. Just listen to that person. Just give a warm bowl of chicken broth, or maybe a soup, or maybe a cup of coffee or a tea. Now let's talk about kapha. Kapha doesn't need anything. You just need to listen to them, let them cry, let them snore, and they will be okay. But the spray bottle that I'm talking about is the oil. If you have a very frustrating day and your EQ is going down, you will realize it that earlier I used to respond, I never reacted. These days I'm reacting. So once you're closing your day, no matter what is your energy, kapha, vata, pitta, grab a bottle of oil, apply it on the soles, अपने soles पे लगाइए, अपने hands पे लगाइए. Just give a scalp your massage if it suits your hair, and on your belly button, the clockwise. It should be a clockwise rotation, and then sleep. Put some oil into nasya, that is called nasya, into your nostrils, and the oil that will go inside your body will actually start bringing the temperament issues down, and slowly your EQ will start raising up.
Oh God. Okay. I think the audiences and myself, we are able to relate to a lot of things which you are saying. And I would definitely urge our audiences to just make notes of all what Ashima is saying, because it would be overwhelming to actually digest this huge chunk of information. But I think it's gonna change our lives. And thank you so much. I really love the engagement which you guys are making in the chat box session. Would definitely love if more people can turn on the cameras. Quickly proceeding. So you were talking about stress, and I think one thing which I would like to ask you personally is that, does our energies get affected when we are having a stressful day? So let's say I can be starting my day with a pitta kind of an energy, but slowly during the evening, I'm actually feeling sluggish and I'm not feeling that fire anymore. And it could be because of stress, it could be because of the fact that I'm multitasking. That how a person should be conscious about it, A, and does stress really affect our prakriti and our energies in which we are resonating?
Hmm. Very good question. See, in Ayurveda, there's one foundation principle: the like increases like, and the opposite actually is the remedy of the like. So, if we talk about Bhavesh here, he's a Pitta person majorly, and then Vata. Then, if you have a good energy during the day, and by the time the day is closing, you're dull on the energy. What would be the remedy? The remedy would be the opposite. Because you have a hot nature, you should go for meditation, you should go for swimming, not the gym, because the gym will actually increase the cortisol, the stress level in your body, and it will make you more vulnerable. You should do something cooling practices like swimming, walking barefoot on the grass, having gulkand water, or maybe a gulkand based pan, having brahmari infused water, or maybe a tea that will actually take you down, and your energy level will actually go up rather than going down. What I said, opposite is the solution in the Ayurveda. Similarly, a Vata person had a very good day, and by the time the day is closing, or maybe at the mid of the day, the person energy is going down. So, what is the solution? What I said, the opposite is the solution, Ayurveda. Again, that person can take a quick table break of 2 minutes of doing a meditation or doing a right nostril breathing. Vata person should not do left nostril breathing. What is right nostril breathing? Inhaling from right, exhaling from left. What does it do? It will pump up your energy. It will keep you warm. Vata is what? Cold. We need the opposite. We need warm. We need something warm. So if your energy is going down, eat something warm in nature, because you're Vata. You're very lean. You have discoloration in the skin. Sometimes you're here, sometimes you're there. You may be very good in art, you may be very good in dance, so you're a Vata person. So the solution is eat something warm, eat something that is very soft in nature, okay, so that it brings your energy level better. Have ashwagandha infused milk, because you're a Vata person. If we talk about kapha person, what a kapha person? They are lovely bees, as I've told you, right? So a kapha person should have, if the energy level is going down, eat light food, because their metabolism is slow. They should not have something like chocolates or pastries or croissant that is high in calorie, high in guru. Guru is what? Guru is something, a teacher, that is very heavy, right? Right? So do not eat something very light in nature. Do not go for juices. Go for very toned based milk based coffee or tea, or maybe a soup, and have ginger infused water or maybe a tea. It is that way.
Got it. Um, Amazing information, and I know that it's already 7:30. Some of us are just waiting to just get rid of this session and have a dinners, and you are actually making us hungrier than we already are. But I'll just take a quick question from the chat as well. Ashish is wanting to ask. So, in his family, I think all of them puts on weight easily, but I think he's concerned about his son, who is actually underweight and super lean. What he should be feeding to his son so that his son can gain healthy weight and does not look super lean.
Hmm. Hi, Ashish. So, question is actually concerning. If kids are very lean during their teenage, or maybe when the childhood is happening, they should have start having ghee. Ghee is guru, that is heavy in nature. So to give a good nourishment to the gut of your son, you should start adding 1 teaspoon of warm, not hot desi ghee into his what? Dal chawal, into his bowl of dal, into his khichdi, maybe his parathas. Instead of giving chapatis, that is rotis, start giving him parathas. Start giving him besan ka sheera, that is besan halwa, in thinner form, thinner consistency, so that his tissues in the body start getting nourishment. The kapha increases in a body and the vata go down. I will tell you one thing. Earlier, the kids until the age of 15 and 16, they used to have kapha prakriti. These days, because the constant use of screen and the parents' pressure, honestly speaking, to the kids, learn this activity, go into that activity, you are consuming my time. The kids actually getting to vata muda. 4 to 6 they have a tuition, 6 to 7 they have a swimming class, 7 to 8 they have a football class, or maybe some online classes happening. So the constant wavering of thought is making students, the kids, leaner, or maybe a paunch on the belly. They're not getting nourishment for the food what they are eating. So a desi ghee from cow milk, a desi ghee is actually very nourishing in the nature, and you can add into his food.
Ashish, I hope it answers your question, and now your child will be growing in a more healthy manner. Thank you so much for the question. Quickly moving on to the next topic. So, I think if you're talking about the food, we should be talking about don'ts of food as well. And so, my next question is obviously gonna be combinations of food which we should be avoiding. And of course, I know it for a fact that I'm having this fruit bowl, which is something I shouldn't be having. It's a mixture of fruit, but any apart from this, any other combinations of food which we should be avoiding?
See, the first thing we should know that we should not have combination of some food. Why? Because it develops ama. That is a toxic in the body. Some people claim that I add milk into my curd because my curd was very sour. It खट्टा था बहुत, तो मैंने उसमें दूध मिला दिया. It should not be done because, and I did not die. Ashima is saying it's very bad for a body. I did not die. I'm living here all well. Nothing happens to the body in a day. It's a very gradual process. When we eat wrong food combination, that is called viruddha ahar, it develops ama, toxic in the body. It's very toxins in the body, it's sticky in the nature. What happens when you eat wrong food combination? The body will take the feces out of your body the next day, at any time of the day. We are not getting into that, the Brahma Muhurat, passing of the motion and all. But the some residue still left over. Where does it travel? It travels in the capillaries of the body, and you will wonder that I have been eating all through my life eggs based healthy diet, vegetables based healthy diet, still I have heart attack. Still, when I went to the doctor, the cardiologist said, oh my god, your BP is so high, one of your arteries is clogged, blocked. Why? Because the ama has the capability to start clogging the capillaries of your body. So it's important that we should know that we should eat as per season, as per the local availability of the food. For example, right now, if you're residing in Australia may season change or is shifting towards winter. So all the green leafy vegetables are there. Now, if I talk about India, spring season is running. So all the green vegetables are going out of the cart, right? So you should respect what is locally available. Now, if I talk about the wrong food combination, the first thing is smoothie. The combination of fruits and vegetables with curd and milk is bad no no, because it gets stuck into your gut. Chip हो जाता है, sticky हो जाता है. And you will always see, if in the morning, the day you had smoothie, in the morning, if you had like very dry skin, I don't want to get out of my bed, right? So something there was wrong in your food. It was smoothie. Honey and ghee, the equal quantity of honey and ghee is very bad for, it's fatal for the body. It's in Ayurveda, it's termed as poisonous, because if you add honey into ghee equal quantity, or maybe if you add honey into very hot water, or maybe very cold water, it turns into fevicol glue. kind of that much sticky and it stucks into your gut. You can always check it from your motion also. If you have that much power to look at your motion, if you fast the next day, what is the color of the motion? Is it yellow? Is it green? Is it turning black in the color? Another thing is combination of animal and dairy protein. I went for my Friday hangout. I had chicken, grilled chicken. I had grilled fish. I had something made out of mutton. And my friend was having paneer tikka. I really liked it. And I hogged on it as well. No, go for only one form of protein. It could be dairy or non-dairy, animal or maybe dairy product. Could be paneer or soy. Never combine it. Vegetable based curd, pineapple raita, cucumber raita, tomato raita. They should never be eaten because fruits and vegetables should never be mixed with curd. Nightshade vegetables like bangan, okra, that is bhindi, potato, tomato, should never be eaten with legumes because they put lot of stress on the digestive fire to digest that food. And what happens, what I told you, what develops in the body? Who will answer in the chat box quickly? What will develop in the body if it's not digested properly? We just told you. क्या डेवलप हो जाता है जो धीरे धीरे कैपिलरीज को ब्लॉक कर? यस, आमा, थैंक यू अर्चना. आमा डेवलप्स इन द बॉडी, सो हमें वो नहीं चाहिए. Why these days people are complaining? You must have seen in the news also that so many celebrities these days, they have like fatal heart attack, even though they are quite healthy, quite fit, they are going to gym because of the constant use of protein powder. If we have time, I can tell you why is it not healthy at all. सो pomegranate जूस, ग्रेप जूस कॉम्बिनेशन. बच्चे लोग बहुत सारे जूसेस पीते हैं आजकल एंड आई वंडर व्हाई कंपनीज आल्सो सेलिंग जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ प्रॉफिट्स. कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ pomegranate, अनार and grape juice is not at all good. It swells and clogs your intestine and nothing happens overnight. It happens gradually. And then you will run to the doctor, you will run to the kidney doctor, liver doctor, what happened to my child, what happened to me, and you will never get the reason. The baseline is the combination of juices. Fish and curd nahi khana hai. If you want to marinate your fish before you cook, avoid the curd part. Just marinate into spices. Never add curd. It actually brings skin discoloration, skin disorders bahut ho jate hain, inflammation, blemishes ho jate hain. Just
I
that.
think who all can agree with me at this point in time that we are actually receiving this huge chunk of information, and Ashima is the bundle of knowledge, if I may say so. She's just bombarding us with all these knowledge pieces, and I think, if I may say so, 10 to 20% of our lives would be changed after this session. So thank you so much, Ashima. And again, a quick reminder, please turn on cameras. We really would love to see your smiling and happy faces. It's evening time, and smiling faces is something which we would really appreciate. Thank you so much, Dikshita,
Yes.
for
And if we
coming.
talk about
And
Bhavesh here, sorry, I'm interrupting Bhavesh. Bhavesh was about to have his bowl of fruits that had like more than one fruit. It's a fruit chat box he has having. Why we should not have combination of fruits? Because fruits have been divided into three categories: alkaline, neutral, and acidic. The pH level of alkaline, acidic, and neutral fruits is different. So body takes different time to digest different fruit. So if a person has a fruit that is one in nature, like alkaline, the combination of alkaline fruits can be taken, but not combination of alkaline, neutral, acidic. For example, melon should never be mixed with apple. Apple can be mixed with apple can be mixed with pomegranate. Apple can be mixed with berries and strawberries and blueberries, but apple cannot be mixed with banana. Apple cannot be mixed with mango. So to get into the not to get into the confusion, always make sure that in a cycle of 24 hours, only have one fruit. Only have one fruit, and that too the seasonal fruit. In December, never have melons. They're actually very bad for gut.
I think for the last 1.5 years, I'm consuming this fruit bowl on a daily basis. And from tomorrow, I'm quitting. I
Yes.
am not having this fruit chat ever from my office. I'll just quickly take one question from the chat. And I think it is something which is really interesting. Dikshita is asking that a combination of banana or mangoes with milk is not a good combination. Why? And I think Suma is supporting her because she really loves to have that kind of milkshake. But why is it not good, Ashima? A
Banana and
combination of
apple, right?
banana, mango, and milk.
Okay, yes. Banana has a sour prakriti, the sour energy, खट्टा होता है. even though it's sweet. Okay, and milk is sweet, स्नेह है वो, love है वो, ठीक है. So you cannot combine a sour nature with a dairy product. What will it happen? You will drink it, nothing will happen inside your mouth. The fermentation will take place inside your stomach and gut. And tell me one thing, if you have eaten sourdough bread, it is made out of fermentation, right? Some people complain that fermented products do not suit them. They have a bloated belly after eating a fermented food. It could be idli, it could be dosa also, right? The fermentation should never happen in the digestive tract, inside your stomach and gut line also. So next time after my session, tomorrow in the morning, make one smoothie out based out of apple plus curd or maybe apple plus milk, and do not consume it for next 10 minutes. You will see it will ferment in the glass jar. It will turn slowly into dark brown and then into black. See the fermentation. If the fermentation is happening in the glass itself, the product itself is telling you do not have it. So you should avoid having it. Now let me talk about the time frame. I don't have time. My schedule is very tight. I don't have time to eat all this alag alag. It takes a lot of time. So what is the solution to it? Kabhi liya, kabhi nahi liya. It should be like that.
I hope it answers your question, Dikshita and Suma. Why should we avoiding? We should be avoiding that milkshake. And thank you so much for that wonderful answer, Ashima. Quickly, next thing, I think it is something which is known to me. I know it for sure that many people around us are also facing this problem of fatty liver. And does Ayurveda has a cure for this? Why does it happen in the first place? And does Ayurveda has a cure for it?
Okay. Fatty liver, first of all, I want to tell you, it has become very common, and doctors say, koi baat nahi, bahut common ho gaya. Even they are saying that's very common, koi baat nahi, and then they give a medicine to it. Fatty liver is categorized into two things, alcoholic and non-alcoholic. Let's get into non-alcoholic quickly. Non-alcoholic happens to a person who doesn't drink alcohol in any form, but why does the liver getting fatty? Because you're consuming a lot of fruits. The fructose in the fruit, actually, when you do not burn the calorie of those fruits, get stored up into your liver. Liver, what is the function of the liver? It releases bile. When it releases bile, when you eat food, uska function hai, that is something non-voluntary process. I give Bhavesh 5 files at 10 a.m. in the morning. At 2 a.m., I gave him another 5 files. And at 6 in the evening, I gave him 10 files. What will happen to Bhavesh? Will he be happy of me or will he get paranoid on me? He will get paranoid on me and he will be saying, like, what the problem with this female? Every time she has a lot of files for me to work upon. Similarly is with your stomach. 10 बजे आपने लिवर को बोला रिलीज बाइल, आपने उसको 2 बजे बोला रिलीज बाइल, आपने उसको 4 बजे कॉफी पी के बोला रिलीज बाइल, 6 बजे भूख लगी फ्रूट खा लिया रिलीज बाइल, आई हैड समोसा एट 6 in the evening रिलीज बाइल. What will happen? You're overworking your liver, so it will not release bile gradually properly, so it will start turning into fatty liver. When it's the 8%, it's the first grade. When it's 12%, it's the second grade. And when it's 15% of the fat content in your liver, it's the third grade. Third grade liver, fatty liver, is very much non-curable, even in Ayurveda. See, Ayurveda is a very healing and preventive mode of modality when it comes to fitness and health. आप उसको प्रिवेंट कर सकते हो, आप रिकवर कर सकते हो. दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन योर एज ऑल्सो. अ स्टूडेंट हु मे डेवलप अ फैटी लिवर एट द एज ऑफ 20 to 30 bracket will get into the recovery mode and can turn the things back to the square one. But if I talk about a person who is 35 plus onwards, you can get into the prevention mode. Taking back the fatty liver completely to the square one is a myth. Let me tell you this. Now, if we talk about Ayurveda, start following intermittent fasting so that the fatty liver goes down considerably. Earlier, we have always followed intermittent fasting in our Indian culture. Jainism promoted so much eating 2 meals. If the gap between 2 meals is lesser than 7 hours, gradually you may have like visceral fat or maybe fatty liver. Someone put the question here, and maybe in the group also, the lady put the question. I guess if she's attending here, ma'am, if you're here, you had asked, like, in corporate culture, we are developing fatty liver, blood sugar spike, and hypertension because every time the snacking culture is very bad. If the gap is lesser than 7 hours, you are putting a lot of pressure on the liver to release bile. सो ओवरवर्किंग से आपका लिवर वीक हो जाता है एंड बाइल उतना रिलीज नहीं होता जितना फूड को डाइजेस्ट करने के लिए चाहिए. इस चीज को आप समझो. सो व्हाट इज द सॉल्यूशन टू इट एज पर आयुर्वेदा? स्टार्ट फॉलोइंग द सन एंड द मून साइकिल. Once the sun rises, at what time, as per your time zone, have the first meal of the day. What it should be: a glass of warm water, then soaked nut, a good quality fat. It doesn't matter even if you're a cover person. If you don't like soaked nuts, if it's summers, have cold pressed coconut oil. If it's winter, have cold pressed olive oil. Then start your day with a fruit bowl that has soaked nuts. If you don't like nuts, what again I said, if you don't like it, have seeds. A very good question. Someone asked me, like, should I take seeds every day? Yes, you can have seeds every day, but soaked. जो चीज यहाँ हार्ड है, जो चीज आपके टंग पे हार्ड है, वो चीज आपके स्टमक पे भी हार्ड है. सो ऑलवेज टेक सीड्स सोक करके. People take chia seeds आधे घंटे पहले, they soak it and have it. Very bad. You will develop chronic constipation in the gradual run. What is the solution to it? Soak chia seeds overnight. So give lot of water content to the food that you want to have so that it becomes bioavailable. The bioavailable means khaya, digest हुआ, nutrition मिला, feces निकल गया, what we don't want in the body. That is the solution. So the fatty liver solution is following intermittent fasting, snacking zero, giving a good gap of 5-6 hours. If you cannot maintain 7 hours gap, having 2 meals. And what is the time of the meal for a fatty liver person, hypertension person, and high BP person? The period of food, the lunch should be between 11 to 1, because that time, no matter what is your age group, your digestive fire is at the peak. 10 to 12 is the bracket when the digestive fire is the peak. Whatever you wish to have, you can actually digest it properly. For example, you want to have chole bhature, have it in the between the bracket of 10 to 2, majorly 11 to 1, so that it gets digested properly. But for example, I'm having chole bhature from the window of 11 to 1. So what should I eat prior to it? Because I have a fatty liver. You should have fruits with soaked nuts. You should have fruits with soaked seeds. Okay, or maybe a cucumber ball salad. If you're having raw vegetables, always add olive oil or cold pressed coconut oil, or maybe soaked almonds chopped into the vegetables, so that there's a fat content in the vegetables. Juices are released from the vegetables with the help of lime juice, and it becomes bioavailable. Right? आपने lunch किया 11 to 1, then don't snack. If you feel out of energy, then have a glass of lime water or coconut water and close your the last meal of the day closer to the sunset. But if you are in corporate culture, once you're back to the your home, maybe by 10 in the night, maybe by 8 in the night, and sun has already set by 5 or 6 as per your time zone, then what should I do? Because I have fatty liver. Then what is the first thing you should consume? Because your fatty liver, a bowl of vegetables, not the cucumber bowl, the sorted veggies. Because when the sun sets, the metabolism starts slowing down. The brain releases melatonin. It says, just relax. So post sunset, doing hardcore workouts, doing gymming is very bad idea. It starts playing with your melatonin. You can never have very sound sleep. And if you cannot have cannot have sound sleep, then you will start developing fatty liver, hypertension, sugar spike in your blood, because food is not getting digested properly. You and इंडिया में कल्चर है, आप चाहे ऑस्ट्रेलिया में रहते हो, आप लंदन में रहते हो, यूएस में रहते हो, इंडियंस का एक कल्चर है, the dinner should be together. That's very good. I call it, it's out of snake love, but it should not be the heavy meal of the day. Heavy meal of the day should be a lunch, and dinner should be like a popper. Dinner should like be a pauper. Breakfast should not be like a king. Lunch should be like a king, and dinner should be like a pauper to overcome your fatty liver, hypertension, and blood sugar spike. Add apple cider vinegar in your food so that the sugar spike and the fatty liver start getting into preventive mode.
Got it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for answering that question. I know we are just having 10 minutes on the clock. Just quickly, before I can open the virtual desk for everyone to ask you question, I'll just take a quick question from Ajay. He has asked that, are you available for professional interaction for a body evaluation and the appropriate Ayurvedic treatment?
Say again, say again.
He's asking, are you available for professional interaction for a body evaluation and the appropriate Ayurvedic treatment? So I think he's trying to get your appointment for a one-on-one session, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yes, no worries with that. No worries with that.
Great.
That's
So
what
I
we
think
want.
to all the folks, Ashima is available. If you would like to have a one-on-one session with her, you can of course reach out to her Instagram handle. She has a beautiful Instagram page of VedaQ as well. Feel free to reach out to her. And now I think we'll just take the questions of the guests as well. So Ashish, we can actually unmute the folks who would like to just raise their hands and ask the questions. Sounds
Yeah,
good?
all can do it. It's already enabled. Thank you.
Great. Let's try to make these 10 minutes as engaging as possible. Ask as many questions as you can, folks, about your body, mind, soul, life, spirituality, anything under the sun. Go ahead. The virtual dais is all yours. And if you are actually shying away from asking a question, you can always paste a question in the. Oh, we have some hands raised. Yes, Suma would like to go first. Please go ahead, Suma.
Hi, Ashima. Suma here. So, super informative session. I'm really, really glad I joined. Thank you so much. So, I do have a Pitta Prakriti, I'm pretty sure, from whatever you have explained.
Because your
And
skin is
my,
actually very shining and you have very thin hair. I can see that.
yeah, I have a 15-year-old son. That is the cause of my thin hair, but other than that.
No, there's
I,
nothing
I
to do being Pitta and Kapha. They look younger than their age. They don't define their age actually.
Okay. I
Okay.
get very hot palms. And I think I don't know why that is. My palms get very hot. Now
Mhm.
that you say I have Pitta Prakriti and all that, it makes sense. So, are there foods or supplements I can consume that can help me out? It's especially uncomfortable in the summers. Um, you know, uh, I just have hot palms. It's very, very uncomfortable. So, is there something you could recommend?
Yes. Yes. The first thing that start applying coconut oil on your belly button when you're closing your
Ah,
day and after taking
interesting.
a shower.
Okay.
Okay. And apply the same oil on your palms and on your soles. Another thing, take 1 tablespoon if you're like you're good with your physical activity going out for the walk and all. Otherwise, 1 teaspoon of gulkand. Okay.
Okay.
Take
Okay.
water, 1 glass of water. If you have matka at home, take that water. Or maybe then if you
Hmm.
don't have, then just take normal water and add
Okay.
that 1 table or 1 teaspoon of gulkand into it, stir it, keep it overnight into that part of your room, jo thanda rehta hai. And in the morning,
Okay.
have it empty stomach. It will start
All right.
bringing the aggravation of heat into your that is being developed in your stomach. It will start getting down. It will not lower down your agni. It will lower down the intensity of the agni that is keeping your palms really warm.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Start having gulkan based palm or pan. Yeah.
I hope it answers your question, Suma. Thank you so much for the question. Yes, I think Marutesh also raised his hand. Marutesh, you would like to go? Would you like to ask your question? If not, then we can hand it over the virtual dash to Gaurav. Gaurav, please go ahead, I think.
Yeah. Hi, Ashima.
Hi,
I have
Gaurav.
a hi. I have a question. Nowadays, I see people drinking early in the morning either hot water with ghee or coffee with ghee. So, is it a good thing to take it in the morning, or what do you suggest?
No. Because coffee is very intense. It's very warm in nature, right? Adding ghee to it, it actually pacifies its intensity. That's why people are having it. But having it the empty stomach in the morning, it's a very bad idea. Once a person sleeps in the night, all the hormones they get back to their actual places because they are also resting. So for the proper optimal functioning, a person needs to start his or her day with a fat content, with a good quality fat content. As I've just mentioned few minutes back, it would be soaked nuts, cold pressed olive oil, coconut oil, as per the prakriti and the season where you're living upon. If you put that much of heat empty stomach, right, it will start aggravating pitta, the digestive fire. It will go aggravated. Initially you will like it because the body weight goes down, but in the gradual run you will start developing the sourness in the mouth, that is the acid reflux post food without food, and the redness on the skin, itchiness in the skin. So it should be avoided.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for the question, Gaurav sir, asking for that, and thank you for answering that question. Yes, Archana, please unmute yourself and ask a question. Archana, you are on mute. You'll have to kindly unmute yourself and then speak. Yes, ma'am, please.
Not unmute. Okay. Thank you, Ashima. One thing I would like to ask, like in northern India, especially, we have this tradition of having a chai parantha in the morning, right? So, is it a good combination? Is it, in spite of preparing veggies in the morning, I make sabzi, but my kids, they are not interested in having, vegetables. They'll have no, we'll have a chai parantha. So, I believe that it's not a good combination. What do you suggest?
It's a bad combination because the presence of chai, that is tea or coffee, in combination of any food that you have, it actually kills all the nutrition from the food. It could be like iron, magnesium, zinc, whatever is coming from that food, it just gets killed off. The ideal way of having tea plus paratha is having paratha first and then having your tea or coffee 30 to 40 minutes later to it.
Thank you.
I hope it answers your question, Archana. Thank you for answering, Ashima. Any other question?
I guess people
If
have
not,
questions, but I guess they're shying so much to ask
I
it.
think they are shying away. And if you are shying away, it's not a problem. The chat section of Zoom is actually made for you. Yes, Ajay sir, please go ahead. Kindly unmute yourself. Sir, you will have to unmute yourself to ask a question. Oh, I think yes, now you can ask, sir.
Yeah. I've this is the first interaction I've had, Ashima, with learning about Ayurveda. So far, one has only known doctors and whatever they give. But one would like to continue this way of life, which is sustainable and not harmful in any way, but more productive. So this is what I would honestly like. And this is where I'd ask Bhavesh to say, where can we get in touch with you to start relooking? I'm 78 years old. So how do we start sustaining our life in a healthier way and nullifying all the damages that have already been done to us?
So for that, I need to connect with you over call because I need to know how's your lifestyle, at what time do you wake up, what is your behavior about things, like very personal questions these are. Then only I can suggest you.
Sure, I would like to get out to any appointment with you anytime.
Would love to. Would love to help you.
And on what number
Thank
can we get in touch with you? I'm
Uh,
not much good.
you're not on
Those.
the WhatsApp group?
Uh, well, I am on this group with Ashish, but otherwise, the internet and all the stuff I'm not good at. So I'll have to
Okay.
seek an appointment with you separately.
Ashish will help you with that. Ashish,
Thank
please.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for being with us, Ajay sir. I think
Thank
your energy is infectious and warm. Thank you so much. And may you live a good and healthy life, a very long life
Sure,
indeed.
I would, I would. But I
Great.
need the mid-course corrections. When you meet somebody who's wiser than you, who knows better about themselves and your own selves, then you get that mid-course correction and life continues.
Ashima is there for us. She is the savior.
Yes.
We have just 1 minute left. Ashima, just one last quick question. I know I am the host of the session, so I can take this advantage. What is the
Yes,
secret of your
yes.
energy? What
Yes.
is the secret of your energy? Because I think for the last 1 hour, you were just speaking on and on with great infectious energy, and we were just spellbound with whatever you were teaching us and imparting your knowledge with. So, just what is the secret of energy, and how do we become as energetic as you are?
The secret of my energy that I eat as per my prakriti. I'm completely vata person. So honestly speaking, my first meal, the major meal, that is my lunch, I always prefer to have it around like 12:30, and it's always dal and rice. Because I'm a vata person, I don't like crunchy food at all. It just take my mood off. So my first meal is around 12:30, and my the dinner time is always close to 7:38. For example, I'm out for something somewhere for the dining and it's a late dinner. So my preference would be something very light in nature. And in case I'm having something heavy in nature because the gathering demands so, the next day will be very light in nature. I will never starve. Second, I practice pranayam, meditation, and yoga definitely. It's like a staple for me.
To all us folks who are trying to get as energetic and as lovely as Ashima, Those were the tips. And that brings us to the end of this session. I would urge all the participants of this session who have been with us for this last 1 hour to please turn on cameras so that we can actually have a Zoom fee. We'll take a screenshot, and a big round of applause, a thunderous round of applause for Ashima for being with us, for imparting all those knowledge pieces to us, and for improving our lives day in and day out. Thank you so much for all you do, Ashima, and thank you so much for having this session with us and everyone who has attended this session. Please turn on your camera so that we can actually have a Zoom feed. Bhavna, Chiranjeev, Nandita, please come on cameras.
Yeah, if you could have the heart emoji on. So in the Zoom, there is this heart emoji where you can have multiple hearts coming out. Let's show our heart as the gratitude
Yeah.
to Ashima for this amazing, amazing session.
Sheesh, my apologies. I won't be able to turn on camera. Actually, I have taken on this thing, Bluetooth in car.
No, no worries, Charanjeev. Hats off to your commitment to join despite being in the car.
Thank you.
So we are taking one more Zoom fee now. Okay. Yeah, back to you, Bhavesh.
Thank you so much, Ashish, for all your efforts. Thank you so much, whosoever is associated with Growth with Sparkz. Lovely community, lovely people. This is what we actually live for. Just keep working on your body, minds, and souls, and have a good, healthy, happy life. God bless you all, and thank you so much, Ashima and Ashish, for